In Palestine, Israeli occupation forces carried out a rocket attack on a school southeast of the city of Gaza, killing at least 21 people, including 13 children. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro highlighted the battle against fascism waged by the Venezuelan people during a phone conversation he held Friday with UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. And around 600 parliamentarians from 73 countries demanded the exclusion of Cuba from the U.S. State Department's list of countries sponsoring terrorism. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. Occupation forces carried out a rocket attack on a school southeast of the city of Gaza, killing at least 21 people, including 13 minors. According to local authorities, the attack on the compound that housed thousands of displaced families left at least 21 dead, including 13 minors and more than 30 wounded, mostly children and women. The Palestinian Ministry of Health stated that in the last 72 hours, Israeli attacks have killed 119 people. These recent events would bring the total number of casualties to 41,391 killed and 95,000 wounded since the start of the genocide in October last year. The Palestinian Health Ministry said Israel has killed at least 716 Palestinians in the occupied West Bank since the siege started on October 7, 2023. According to the Health Ministry, among those killed by Tel Aviv in the West Bank are 160 minors, 10 women, and 9 elderly adults. The ministry said that the Israeli attacks have left over 5,750 people wounded, mostly children and women. Humanitarian organizations warned that on average every day Israel has killed 5 children since the escalation of hostilities in the West Bank. And Palestinian ambassador to Moscow Abdel Hafiz Nofal informed that the president of the Palestinian National Authority, Mahmoud Abbas, will participate in the next BRICS summit to be held in the Russian city of Kazan from October 22nd to the 24th. Nofal stressed the Palestinian people's confidence in Moscow to solve the Middle East conflict. The Palestinian diplomat announced that Abbas has received an invitation from Russian President Vladimir Putin to attend the BRICS summit. On June 10th, the BRICS countries demanded a ceasefire in Gaza in a joint declaration. They also condemned the constant bombardment of civilian infrastructure, the killing of children, women, and health personnel, as well as the lack of access to drinking water, medicine, and food. Meanwhile, in Lebanon, 31 people were killed after Israeli shelling of residential buildings in southern Beirut on Friday. The interim Minister of Health, Firas al-Abiad, gave a press conference on Saturday in which he detailed that among the victims are 3 children and 7 women. He also said that a total of 68 people were wounded and transferred to 12 different hospitals. The Israeli aggression on Friday consisted of several missile attacks fired by drones that caused significant damage to the 2 buildings in the Al-Qaim neighborhood. According to the authorities, the total number of people killed by Israel this week after the Patriot explosions, the walkie-talkie attack, and the latest drone bombing has reached 70. And in this context, the Lebanese resistance movement Hezbollah confirmed Friday the death of the head of its elite Radwan unit Ibrahim Akil due to the new Israeli airstrike in the southern suburbs of Beirut. In the words of the movement, the great commander of the Hash, Ibrahim Akil, joined his brother commander who died after a blessed life. For his part, the Israeli Defense Forces ratified earlier the annihilation of Akil and other commanders of the organization during its attack on the southern suburbs of Beirut. The IDF carried out what it considered to be a targeted attack on the southern suburbs of Beirut, resulting in the Lebanese Ministry of Health confirming 14 people dead and over 60 wounded. In other news, in Sri Lanka, the presidential elections officially began on Saturday, with more than 17 million voters registered to elect the Asian country's president for the next 5 years. A total of 38 candidates are competing, including incumbent President Ranil Wickremesinghe and Ranasinghe Predemedasa for the opposition. Voting began at 7 a.m. local time on Saturday and will end at 4 p.m. the same day, with more than 13,000 polling stations being set up for the election. These are the first presidential elections after the popular uprising that shook the island in 2022, which resulted in the resignation and departure of the then president Gotabaya Rajapaksa, accused of mismanaging the economy and causing the financial crisis. Let's now take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro highlighted the battle against fascism waged by the Venezuelan people during a phone conversation he held Friday with UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. During the event, the Venezuelan president expressed his concern for the advance of fascism and neo-fascism in Latin America and Europe, and rejected destabilization attempts against his country by the United States and the far right. Maduro also highlighted the expressions of hatred and violence that threaten the peace of the nation. The Venezuelan president also stressed that culture is also a weapon to fight fascism.
There is a debate in the world. I even spoke today with the Secretary General of the United Nations, Secretary General Antonio Guterres. We spoke for about 15 minutes and I fully explained to him the battle we're waging against fascism. We have to call it by its name. It is the devil. Let no one sugarcoat the expressions of intolerance, of persecution, which are typical of fascist projects. We have seen outbreaks of fascism in Europe, practically fascism, neo-fascism, and similar expressions. It is an incredible thing, Ernesto and Hector. It is impressive how neo-fascism, fascism, and its similar expressions are spreading in Spain, cornering democracy in Spain and in Italy, seizing political power in Germany with Nazi expressions reivindicating Hitler, and stop counting. And the whole international fascist and neo-fascists are targeting the jewel of the crown in South America, Venezuela.
The Technology and Telecommunication Fair's FITEL event 2024 continues in Caracas, the capital of Venezuela, and our correspondent Gladys Quesada was there on its second day. Let's see.
Activities, FITEL event 2024 continues to show the technological and telecommunication possibilities that Venezuela has in terms of telecommunications. The doors remain open to a diverse public that notices the possibilities of prosperity in the sector.
We have and we can. There is enough technology and enough information, and that gives us a chance to emerge, to move forward. So we have what we need.
It fills me with pride that our country, Venezuela, has so much technology and innovation. We are at the technological forefront of the country. It is international, and I believe that we go hand in hand with all the technological advances that we have had at an international level.
Entrepreneurs of new brands or growing companies, as well as for established commercial firms, the fair is an opportunity. Public and private sector join management in a growing market.
It is not only us as the telecommunications sector achieving alliances or meeting each other, because we also do it in our exchange rooms, but at the same time we are generating that space where to develop diverse economic activities. And what is the growth of a sector, such as telecommunications in a 12–20%, that always translates into the economy and the prosperity of a country, of course.
Look at the road ahead. Whoever does not see these opportunities does not really work in the telecommunications market. It is as simple as that. We as QuickNet are making this bet. We believe in alliances. In less than 48 hours, we have made 5 alliances with our potential competitors because there is room to compete, of course, with technology, because in the end, we all win.
The more than 900 sanctions affecting the country since 2015 also impacted the technology and telecommunications sector. In 2017, internet consumption was 0.5 terabytes. Today, 7 years later, it is 11.1. Fidelven shows then a possible future.
It
is something that is growing everywhere, from having nothing a few years ago to now, that many text messages and calls, to being able to talk by WhatsApp, by message, by video call all over the world just by pressing a screen.
This is a great opportunity for the economy of Venezuela in view of the fact that technology is a reliable sample that has advanced quite a lot and continues to move toward the forefront.
This second edition of Fidelven will dedicate its last day to technology and Venezuelan companies, those that see in the digital economy the prospect for a prosperous future for all. Gladys Quesada, teleSUR, Caracas, Venezuela.
That was a summary of the second day. Let's now go live to Caracas, Venezuela, on the grounds of the second edition of the International Telecommunications Fair as it continues, bringing together entrepreneurs, big and small brands and technology enthusiasts. With all the details, our correspondent live, Gladys Quesada. Gladys, what is going on this day of the Fidelven?
Thank you, Luis, for this opportunity and this contact. Once again, this is the closing, this is the final day of Fidelven 2024, this second edition of the biggest event in terms of technology and telecommunications here in Caracas. As we have been reporting, this is a family-friendly, this is open to the public, but today precisely it has a free entrance for everyone who wants to come and witness the advances of technology and telecommunications and hold the sector here in Venezuela. As well as we have been reporting, today is a day just dedicated to Venezuela, intended to showcase the best and the foremost, the most brilliant companies, the largest companies here in Venezuela that provide connectivity and telecommunication services for all Venezuelans, as well as to form fusions and to form new alliances between this and other entrepreneurs and brands from all over the world. I have to say today is right now having place the Tournament of Fusion, which is an opportunity for each one of these companies to showcase the abilities of their best technicians in optic fiber installation. And we were talking with one of the main sponsors of this event, and he's also one of the professors and engineers that are preparing this event, and he was saying to us that this event is not only to do a competition because it's a fair, a friendly, a fraternal competition, it's also a way to motivate Venezuelan technicians and other people who belong to the sector to go and migrate professionally to the fiber optic, because he was saying that is one of the markets that are called to grow in these next 5 years, maybe 3 to 5 years. So it is very important to promote this kind of activities, to spread the voice about these kind of abilities and how people can incorporate themselves to be more profitable, and also to help to Venezuela to grow from the 4G to the 5G connectivity in speed and in quality. Also today there will be some tech talks or maybe master classes regarding how Venezuela has sorted difficulties and how to provide internet for popular and maybe disadvantaged zones that need better connection, and also how to link education in the schools and in the universities as the most with this kind of events, with connectivity and the need for better internet in order for kids and for youngsters to learn better, because we have to say Gen Z, they are learning through internet and through this kind of tools, so they need better and proper internet in the learning facilities here in Venezuela. Right now there is taking place this tournament, as I was saying. The day is expected to be longer, or maybe the closing hours will be, moved depending on the amount of people and the turnout of people that are coming in here to witness this. Also, let's recall this is the last day, so it is expected more public and more people. I want to say also that today there will be maybe press conferences on the side of the big brands and the presidents of these marks, because they want to show showcase their projects and how they have been enhancing their cooperation with other companies and all. Let's recall the first day, over 10 companies here in Venezuela were having mutual agreements in terms of technology, cooperation, finances, and one of the main topics and the main platforms that will be enriched after this fair is the digital economy. Those terms comprehend how digital economy is moving in Venezuela, because it's not only the currency, also is needed the digital currency, the trade, the platforms for paying to the workers and for paying any debt or any services, and also the self-reliance in terms of finding services, because AI is providing this kind of facilities and this kind of easing for the people. So that's maybe in a resume or summarizing, what is going on here in this fair, what is going in Fitelben 2024, which is one of the main events regarding technology and regarding telecommunications in Venezuela, and it is aspiring to be one of the biggest events in Latin America and the Caribbean. Now I'm closing this report, but we will be reporting in coming missions. So now, Luis, back to you.
Thank you, Gladys. We'll stay tuned for that to see the further reports on everything that is going on in this beautiful fair of technology and inclusivity of people coming on for this new approach to these new technologies and to continue moving forward in the development of the country. For now, let's take a short break and continue with a short break, as we were saying, and we'll invite you to our YouTube channel at teleSUR English, and you'll be able to rewatch our interviews, top stories, special broadcastings, and more. Hit the subscribe button and activate that notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Found your break, don't go away. Welcome back. Around 600 parliamentarians from 73 countries demanded on Friday the exclusion of Cuba from the U.S. State Department's list of countries sponsoring terrorism. Through a joint letter coordinated and published by Progressive International, legislators call on their respective governments to take immediate steps to advocate for the removal of Cuba from the list. According to UN experts, Cuba's inclusion in the registry has undermined fundamental human rights, including food, health, education, economic and social rights, as well as the right to life and development. And in Mexico, next Monday, September 23rd, a historic electoral process for the election of judges, magistrates, and ministers of the Supreme Court of Justice of the nation by popular vote will get underway. This was announced by the president of the National Electoral Institute, Guadalupe Tadei, during a press conference on Thursday. This is the first session of the electoral process after the recent entry into force of the judicial reform that was approved by the Congress of the Union and more than half of the local legislatures. The inaugural event will begin in the morning and will be attended by the 11 councillors of the National Electoral Council, delegates in each state, and presidents of the local public electoral bodies. During this session, a temporary commission will be installed that will supervise the entire selection process of the country's future judges, magistrates, and ministers. And in Brazil, the social media X stopped working again on September 19th after a court ordered it to stop using the service that allowed it to avoid suspension in the country. The network had become partially accessible again thanks to an update of its application, and assured that the restoration was the involuntary consequence of a temporary change of server. The social media is again accessible after a judge of the Supreme Federal Court ordered the platform of Elon Musk to block new accesses to its application. The Brazilian prosecutor's office requested to open an investigation into users who took advantage of the breach on September 18th to promote attacks against the Supreme Court. And on Friday, the government of Honduras declared a green alert for prevention throughout the country due to a throw that will leave rains for at least 72 hours. The Secretariat of State in the Offices of Risk Management and National Contingencies indicated that during the time of the green alert, the phenomenon, which could result in a disaster, should be monitored. Honduras is considered one of the countries most at risk from natural disasters, and according to the authorities, vulnerability in the country increased after devastating Hurricane Mitch at the end of 1998, which also affected Guatemala, El Salvador, and Nicaragua. And in Argentina, more than 350 people were evacuated and several homes were affected as firefighters are working hard trying to tackle the forest fires affecting Cordoba. More than 300 firefighters, supported by water-spraying planes, worked this Friday to contain the flames in the vicinity of the town of Capilla del Monte, where the fires intensified due to the extreme drought and very strong gusts of winds. In addition, during the day, a man was arrested who was trying to start a new fire by burning grasslands and with gasoline. So far this year, 1,500 forest fires have been registered in the province of Cordoba, most of them in the last 3 months, with a balance of 30,000 hectares affected. And in Buenos Aires, Argentina, the documentary titled Traslados is presented, a production that reconstructs the plot behind the death flights of the last military dictatorship in the country. The director, Nicolás Gil Lavedra, explains that the documentary is aimed at especially young people or those who do not know that part of the Argentinian history. The death flights were a method of execution implemented by the last civilian military dictatorship, which consisted of throwing political prisoners into the sea or river from airplanes. According to Lavedra, the documentary shows evidence of everything that is known since 1976 to the present regarding these events, narrating from the first findings to the judicial rulings that proved the crimes. Like this, we have come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website, telesurenglish.net. So join us on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.